Hey, it's me again, the dude that sits cross-legged in a random place in a random world in VRChat. Yep, that's me. It's funny, when I'm getting the whole setup going, there's a good chunk of time just to make sure that everything's working. Um, and in that time, usually I don't want to say I forget what I want to talk about. I write things down. Not that I'm looking at anything right now, but I write things down anyway, just to try to kind of have it there. And if I need it, I can look at it. Probably will today. Um, but that just helps to kind of keep my mind in check, make sure I can actually remember the things that I'm like thinking about. Usually unimportant things, obviously. I mean, all of this is obviously all of this is unimportant, but even like things in daily life sometimes. Not so much like things I have to do, but like things I just want to like, I don't know, I guess remember that I thought about. Um, I kind of have been taking a bit of a hiatus from doing content creation that I've done elsewhere outside of here. And because of that, when I was doing it, that's kind of when I started writing things down more so. I kind of did it in college a little bit. I used to have a whiteboard, but that was more to like keep notes for like, just remember when like due dates were and things I had to do. It's a bit different. I would do like streaming and stuff consistently, um, and that kind of thing, TikTok and that, and with streams and stuff, it was multiple times a week, and I'd always want to make sure I have things to talk about, because things could come up naturally, of course, with talking to viewers and things, but when there are those times where um, there aren't any people around, it's a slow day, maybe you're playing something that not everybody's into, it's not like your main shtick. Sometimes there just really isn't anybody, or not really that many people engaging, and it's just kind of slow. And that happens, of course, with anything, but that kind of thing, of course, yeah. So, writing things down, it's very helpful, because I would just write thoughts and I would jot things down so that I would be able to kind of pull from it later if I needed like a talking point or something like that. Obviously, try your best to improv something new in the moment if you can, but if not, try to make it seem like you did improv something in the moment from something that you obviously didn't do that with. And I did that a lot. I have a bunch of like really long Google documents that are just like notes and notes of different things that maybe could be something I talk about on a live stream. And a lot of those I've used. I never really marked which ones I used. I kind of just made new ones every time, and I would put them in like another notepad file of just like the ones that I'm currently using, and pulling from. And then if one I was like, I'm never gonna bring that up, it's been here for like weeks, I'll delete it and add new ones. I'm not doing that now, obviously. Again, I'm kind of on a hiatus from that for a little while. I don't know how long. I don't know. I just don't even know if that's temporary or permanent or not. I don't know. Um. Yeah. Anyway, I hope you're doing well yourself. I I don't really know myself. But, you know, doing what you do, doing what you can, you know. Um, this map is called Life. I'll say that again if it didn't come through properly. It's called Life. It's interesting because you're obviously not seeing the whole thing, but it's basically just a white room. Beyond the camera, there's really not much. It's just some white walls, some pot lights in the ceiling. There's a carpet with some blankets and pillows, and that's it. And there's a little button in the distance that turns on a mirror, which I don't have on, but... and then there's obviously this hospital bed, some chairs, and there's some pens over in the corner on the other side of the window. And obviously outside the window. That's about it, but I don't know, something about it. It's obviously very hospital room-like. And given the name, it kind of makes sense. I'm not really sure how people would play this map normally. I'm not really sure what they would do with it, but... I don't know, when I loaded it up the first time, I don't know, it very easily kind of triggers that sort of, like, depersonalization, derealization sort of thing. It kind of... It's like when you see a piece of media that has, like an anime, or TV show, or movie, or a book, or whatever, that has, like, some terminally ill character that's just, like, in the hospital and they know they're gonna die. That's what terminally ill is. And it just has that, like, sadness, you know, that it's like... Like, it's beautiful in a way, but it's also kind of sad at the same time. It's kind of a mix of the two. It has that sort of feeling to it. I don't know, I think the curtain really helped. Something about it. Apologies if it's a little brighter than usual. It's not, like, max white, but it is a bit brighter than the last two maps I've done. So, apologies for that. I don't know, it just felt like the right place to be. When do you think the most acceptable age is to die? That might be a weird way to put that. Like, what in your brain, in your mind, do you have, like, an idea of, if I was this old, or if somebody was this old and died, yeah, that makes sense. Which sounds like a horrible way to put it, but, like, okay, yeah, they were pretty old. You know, yeah, it's sad, sucks. It's you don't want to see somebody die, but if they're past that age, it's like, well, they did live a long life, and, you know, they've been able to accomplish a lot. Again, sucks that they died, but they're around that age. When is that age for you? Because for me, I say about 80 or so. That seems about good. Like, if somebody gets past the age of 80, to me, that is bonus years. You know, like, wow, oh, I'm 82. I got 2 extra years so far. You know, it'd be like, that would be how I would think of it. At least, that's how I do think of it. I'm not that old myself, but, you know, yeah, 80 or so. I would say that that is the age, more or less. The reason I bring that up is, well, in about a month, almost in exactly a month, not quite, or a couple days literally a couple days away as I'm recording this. I don't know when this will be up, but hopefully sooner than later, and this is still factual information. But in a month and a couple days, I will be 26. In less than 20,000 days, I will be 80. In theory. Let's not go into the whole, like, well, you never know. Hey, you're assuming you make it that long. Again, that is like the hopeful you get 80 years of life, and then who knows after that, right? Again, that's my own opinion. There's nothing saying that that's the thing. For some people, maybe it's like, no, you want to get to 100, that's a full life. You want to get to 90. Some people are like, oh, no, it's actually only 50. Once you pass 50, like, who knows? For me, it's 80. But I was kind of thinking about, you say in less than 20,000 days. 20,000 days is still a lot of days. But some people view it in different ways, I think. Like, when you tell somebody that information, like, one person would maybe say, oh, well, 20,000 days, that's not that many days. I gotta do this, and I wanna do that, and man, I don't know how I'm gonna do all these things in just 20,000 days. Like, that's not nearly as many as I would want it to be. It's still a lot, but I want to do 100,000 days worth of things, Other people would maybe be like, 20,000 days is like, alright, 20,000 days. And they're those kind of people that, like, want to make every day count, and they're like, well, now I have 20,000 days, 20,000 different ways to make each day special in its own way. And, that's an inspiring way to look at it. And obviously there's a bunch of other ways to look at it, but those are, like, the immediate ones that kind of pop into my brain. And then there's obviously the third. And I feel like for me, that's kind of the main way that I see it, which is 20,000 days. It's a little less than 20,000 days, but 20,000 days. It's easier to say that. Not 19,970 or something. I don't know how many. 20,000 days. That's a lot of days. But at the same time, it's not. But it is a lot of days. And I feel like there are some people, again, I'm myself included, it's like 20,000 days. How the fuck am I gonna do 20,000 days, I have no clue. A lot of the times I feel like I'm not gonna be able to do, like, in the next month. And, I don't know, it's just, I've been thinking about it recently. I've been thinking about that fact. Like, I don't know. Lately, I don't know. I don't know if it's a mix of stress. Not even stress. I feel like, whenever I think of emotions and things, half the time I'm like, when I say, like, stress, it's like, there are people working in, like, 16-hour days every day doing, like, construction work on, like, a building in, like, a country where, like, it's warm all the time. They're sweating all the time. Maybe their, like, work conditions aren't that great and their employer's not that great, so then, maybe there's, like, they don't get good breaks or anything like that. Somebody out there is living that life, and it's like, they're stressed. Yeah, that makes sense. So when somebody like me says, like, oh, stress, it's like, why the fuck? You have no reason to be stressed. You're not stressed. No, you're not. What are you talking about? But I guess it still is true. I don't know. I don't know what it is that I'm feeling. I don't know exactly what it is, but I feel like in the last while, I felt like I've just kind of been, like, withering away, physically and mentally. And I don't know. I guess update on the thing I talked about last time. But that kind of pain in an unfortunate area. I'm not feeling that now. Luckily, I texted my mother that I was like, I have some discomfort, and I think I should get it checked out. And then she's just like, oh, here's a link, you can make an appointment. I'm like, okay. Never talked about it after that. But I went to go make an appointment, and when I did that, it was a whole online thing. It's like, what is it that you're looking for? I'm like, I gotta find some way to word this that doesn't sound awful. And so I did that, and the last thing was like, okay, pick a date. And it had the whole month of April, and you could see like halfway into May, and there was no dates or times whatsoever to schedule. And it was like, we only show the 1 month. If there isn't any times, check back later. So I didn't even make one. I didn't go to look if I could make another one. I mean, I assume they don't show the next month until it is the next month, so there's just no times. You just can't make an appointment online. Doesn't matter though. I'm actually feeling fine now, thank God. Mostly. Sometimes there's like a little bit of something there, but I think that's more so just, like if you get like a pain in your arm randomly or whatever, just aging. I think I'm good. Now it's something else. I always find something to like hyper focus on that's like, oh God, this is happening to me now. Oh God, something bad. Right now, I don't know, I woke up one day and I just walked into the bathroom and my hair was kind of messed up, and I kind of looked where my hair was parted. I have like a side part, and I just noticed like right where the part started on my forehead, it was like there was kind of like a lack of hair there. Not really a lack, but it's just like it was all kind of away from that area. And then when I like combed it, you could still kind of see that there wasn't like a lot of hair sitting in that region. And it wasn't like blatantly obvious, but I just kind of noticed it. And since then, it's been like a couple days, and now like every time that I go in the bathroom, I kind of notice that it's still kind of there. And I'm like, am I like balding? I don't know. I mean, if so, it's kind of a thing I'm mixed on if that's the case. I don't know. I don't know for sure. Maybe, maybe not. I hope not. I really hope not. But it's a thing that I've been kind of like stressing about. I don't know if it's actually happening or not. But if it is, there's kind of two sides of it. There's one where it's like I have the mentality of like once it's like obvious enough that that's happening, it's like, just get rid of it. And to me, I was always like, is that an easier said than done? And it's like, not really. It's like if it is obviously just going, it's probably better to just not have it at all, right? So I feel like if I was in that position, I would just make that decision, but the thing that I would always think about is the fact that it's like, I think that's just going to make me look worse. I don't think I would make for a good bald person. I think I would look pretty terrible. I already look pretty terrible. So, I don't know. I'm really hoping, but I'm just thinking about it. I don't think it looks any different. Maybe I'm just hyper-focusing on it. Like, Reddit was showing me, like, just randomly recommending me, like, a balding subreddit, so I've just been seeing that, so maybe I'm just hyper-focusing on it without thinking about it, but I don't know. It's just been there. It's just been something I've been thinking about. Yeah, so I'm always hyper-focusing on just weird shit. And usually it's like physical stuff. But yeah. I feel like my vision's been maybe a little worse lately. I don't think it's actively getting worse. I think it just got a little worse and I'm noticing it. I'm not really sure, though. But when I don't have glasses on, it's like, oh, there's not a lot there. It's, you know, it's definitely nearsightedness. I have astigmatism. So, you know, things just kind of like the light doesn't really form together, so things kind of just like, it's like if you had a finger and then like the finger, as it got further away, looked like it started like splitting into two, because you're not really focusing them together properly, because your eyes are kind of not bending the light right, because your eye is actually a little oval shaped rather than fully round like it's supposed to be. That's astigmatism, more or less. So yeah, so when I don't have glasses on, it doesn't take long before that's kind of obvious. I don't wear glasses in VR, so see the I hit the microphone pretty bad. I hope it's okay. I see the camera lens. See you all the way over there. And you know, it's not super crisp, but I can see it enough. But yeah, I feel like that's just like another thing physically that I'm just like, oh yeah, that's something as well that I'm like thinking about regularly too. I can't really like go to my my optometrist or whatever and you know, get a new prescription. I mean, I can, but it would cost a lot, and get like new frames and lenses and all that would be super expensive. I don't have coverage for that at the moment, so yeah, I guess I'll just have to deal with it. It's not unacceptably bad. It's just like really far away stuff. I mostly just can't like see text very well. It's not a big deal. And maybe it's something that was always a problem for a long time and I just never really noticed it. Like maybe that's how it's always been. I don't really know. A lot of things that I'm like focusing on is like, maybe they've always been like that. Maybe it's always been that way and I'm just stupid. That's probably what it is. I'm just stupid. I'm just stressing over unnecessary things. Which, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the case. It's pretty late right now, which is usually when I record. I could also do like in the middle of the day, but I don't know. It's not when I'm like in this mindset, so it doesn't really work for me. The past couple days, I've I don't know. I've been trying to like. I wasn't tired a couple days ago, and I was just like, you know, I'm just gonna like not worry about sleep. And so I decided like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna stay up, like, and you know, not go to bed today. And I did that to a degree, but I like laid in my bed for a bit just to kind of like chill. And then I fell asleep. But I fell asleep at like 5:30, so I didn't get up until like 1. And then, because it was so late, I was like, I'm not really that tired. I guess I'll actually try properly this time, and I did. But then I fell asleep at like 6:30. And then today I woke up at like 2. So I've been offsetting it in this weird way, and now it's like, you know, it's really late now. It's not too bad, it's almost 2. It's not that late, I guess, but I'm really not that tired. And because of that, you know, I don't know what I'm doing this time. I have no idea, but I'm kind of in this weird spot where I'm not like sleepy tired, I'm just exhausted, and that's, in my brain, that's a different thing. I don't know if the dictionary defines those two things as a different thing, but in my brain they are a different thing. When I was in my room, it's in my bedroom, the main reason I went into my bed was because my parents, they go to work around, they get up at about 6 in the morning, and then they leave around 7 to 7:30 in there or so to go to work. And so I was like, okay, I'll sit in my room for a bit and then I'll get up and kind of start my day. And I've done that a couple times, where I have just, stayed up the whole night and into the morning, into the next day. But when I was kind of in my room, I wasn't really feeling that tired. I wasn't really feeling that great, just like headspace wise. I don't know the best way to put it. There's really no way to transition into it. I'm kind of just going super specific on the details, but it was around 6. I'm hearing my parents start to get up. I can hear them outside of my room. The door is closed, of course, but I can hear them. I'm kind of just sitting or laying in my bed. And I was just kind of like, okay, well, I'll stay up. Now that I have these noises, it's going to be hard to sleep. So I turn over, and I have like two fairly big plushies in my bed, like Build-A-Bear size or so. And actually a little bigger than that, I'd say, but I'm sitting there and I'm on my side, and I just kind of grab and I'm hugging one of my plushies on my bed. And I normally do that. I kind of feel like I need to like hold something. Not like super close, just have my arms like resting on something when I try to sleep. I've done that for a long time in my life. It just helps me get to sleep, but this time I was like really hugging it close and tight, and I don't know, something about it. I don't know, I just was kind of, I was just kind of feeling bad. Long story short, I'm hugging this plushie, isolated in my room, hearing my parents start their day, and I'm just fucking like sobbing there. Lightly, not a lot. I don't really cry. I can't really do that. I did, but not much. But I can't really do that too much because I don't know. It just normal boy thing that you're kind of just forced to learn, forced to live by, of just like, don't show weakness. Eventually it just becomes like a point where that's all you know anymore. So now over time you just eventually, it's just hard to really allow yourself to feel anything anyway. Even if you're like in your brain, you're like, there's no reason that I shouldn't in this moment be allowed to feel what I want to feel, but I just can't fully. It's frustrating. And also I can't like cry because I feel like I don't deserve to be able to do that, Again, it's the same thing that I mentioned with like people that like saying stress, right? Like there are people doing construction work in like a really hot environment for like 16-hour days or whatever, or longer. Those people are stressed, not me. Well, in the same way I look at it with crying, of like there are people that are like, there are wars in the world. There are people that are losing family members and you know, violence and awful things happening in the world. It's like, why do I deserve to, you know, cry over like the dumbest shit? Oh, you feel alone? Oh wow, so upsetting. So those kind of thoughts seep in pretty quick, and just all those factors, it makes it really hard. But I did, just a little bit. Again, I don't know if that's good or not. Probably not. But, yeah. I don't know. Recently, I've been craving something that I've never had, which is just, and it sounds ridiculous too to say that, but I just want somebody to like hold me for a bit, you know? That would be nice. It'd be nice to just have that. Just sit like that for a while. You know, have that intimate connection. And I know you can obviously find like promising or positive words on the internet, but it's different, you know? Seeing words on a screen versus having somebody just sit there in silence just to be there. That's different. I've never really had that, but it doesn't take a lot to know that that's different. I can't even really have friends, honestly, at this point. I've had proof of that recently, actually. I was in a Discord call with another creator streamer that I've known for a little while. Our communities kind of merged a little bit some years ago, actually. And so we've had a little bit of a connection, and you know, we've talked, but it's not like frequent, it's not super regular, whatever, but you know, both communities will kind of meme on the other person. And so, you know, it's a friendly thing like that, and I feel bad being on a hiatus because their community's constantly like, where is this person? And you know, I don't know, it feels like I've kind of sent all those people over their community, and for a good chunk of people, they seemingly have kind of done that, and they seem to be a lot more active in the other person's community now. So I'm glad for that. That is good. I'm happy about that happening. But I was in a voice call in their Discord with them, and they just kind of wanted to talk to me about, you know, they've been reworking their not Discord, their stream for the last little bit, so they were kind of showing me stuff and what they were doing, what they're hoping to do, and stuff they wanted to do, but they weren't sure the best way to go about it. And just a lot of those kinds of things. So, you know, it was a good time, and eventually we ended up, a day or two later, we played some Team Fortress 2. I haven't played it in a long time, but I used to play it all the time. But it's been so long that I'm absolute trash now. I'm basically like a game journalist playing it. If you know what I'm referencing there, shout out to you, I guess. But yeah, I didn't do great, and I felt very useless because of that. But whatever, it's a game. It doesn't really matter. I had an okay time doing that, but it's been a couple days since then, and I haven't really talked to them after that, so, you know, just kind of a one-off thing. I doubt we'll do much together in anytime soon at this point. Before that started, though, in the voice chat, a couple other people joined that were friends of theirs that I didn't know that well. And there was like 45 minutes of just them talking back and forth, and there was never really a gap that I could ever say anything in there, and I just felt in that moment, I'm like, I really don't belong in this conversation. I don't, like, I shouldn't really be here. I didn't feel like I belonged. I felt kind of just there. Like, even online that can happen, and I was just kind of feeling like, why am I even here? And like, you know, the way they were talking was like so much more fast-paced, a lot more chill. You could kind of sense the fact that a lot of people, like the people that were talking, were confident in themselves and their ability to talk to other people. And I'm like, I don't have that, dude. I don't feel like I've ever had that. And so, I don't know, I can't even like bring that sort of level to like an online conversation compared to a real one. Like, I couldn't even do that there either, obviously, and it's just like, I don't know, that was just like a reminder of like, I don't know, I feel like I can't dig myself out of myself, you know? I don't know if that makes sense, but it does to me. The world just moves so fast, man. It really does. Nowadays, it's just like that. Like, I don't know, I feel like the attention span of most people, it sounds like such like an old person thing to say. It's like, oh, everybody's attention span is, you know, it's getting worse. It's, you know, everybody needs that instant gratification. But it's like, it's true though, especially nowadays, especially with like TikTok and Instagram and stuff like that. One of the things that that infuriated me about my community that I made while streaming was the fact that, like, sometimes if things weren't happening quickly, or I was like struggling, you know, playing a game, or I was like taking my time and doing like a bit or a joke or something like that, there would always be this like universal mindset from everybody that was there that would not take that long at all, like literally 30 seconds to a minute, that would just be like, hurry it up, you know, and that kind of vibe, and it would get toxic pretty quick too, and it was so frustrating to deal with that. I feel like even when I'm doing this and I'm talking now, I feel like I do it sometimes because I just can't help it, but when I have to pause for a minute between saying anything, just like that, like, I can't, it feels wrong to like stop a natural pause and stop the rhythm, but I feel like this is like me talking now is gonna annoy people because I'm taking too long to say something and having too many pauses, you know? It's just like, I feel like you can't really have a real conversation like this. Me just it's one-sided, obviously, I realize that here, but even with like somebody, if I was talking to somebody and having a conversation and just being like, well, that was how that was, and then they start to talk like that would never, I don't know the last time I've ever talked to somebody in that way where there's just a pause that long and they don't feel the need to interrupt it and immediately start going too. And I don't know, and it just, because of that, I don't know, whenever I have a conversation with somebody, it feels so fake and awful a lot of the time because it just feels like that's how it goes. And usually when I have a lot of conversations too, like this is about the best speed you're gonna get from me, right? And I've had some pauses and some gaps in my talking now, and I have that when I talk with somebody. And I feel like a lot of the people that I've talked to in the last while, again, try not to do that or don't do that. And that ends up resulting in the fact that a lot of people that I talk to, I think, just find me a little peculiar that way, or feel like I'm purposefully trying to waste their time, or something of that nature. And because of that, when I'm talking to somebody, especially if it's somebody that I'm like developing a friendship with, even if they don't mean anything bad by it, people tend to take the pauses that I might give them and immediately start talking because they want to talk, and they don't want to wait through pauses either or anything like that. And so my thoughts and things that I'm talking about get stopped early, and I'm not allowed to form the entire thought that I have. And I do struggle with finding the right words, obviously, but I'm not even given the time to even consider finding the right words a lot of the time. And because of that, I feel like a lot of the relationships and friendships that I've had, and again, by relationships, I just mean friendships. You know that if you've seen the other two videos. Anyway, a lot of the time, it ends up kind of going in the direction where they kind of feel like they have to talk more because I keep having these pauses. They get comfortable with that, and eventually it ends up going in a direction of they just end up talking a lot more, and there's a lot more time where I'm just not saying anything, and they just keep going, and eventually I just mostly end up listening during our conversations, and that happens with a lot of people. And I don't know, and eventually, like, I just feel like over time, from things like that and other things, like pretty much just everywhere I go, online, in real life, wherever, however I try to make myself act, if I'm like, I gotta really try this time to, not let the normal things that happen between me and most people happen. I want to try to not have that happen. Doesn't matter if I put in that effort. It always usually goes in the same way of like, eventually I'm just kind of put to the side, and, I feel like I'm just a very ignorable person. And I don't want to say I want to be the center of attention all the time. That's not what I'm saying, but there are so many times where, like, in a conversation, like, I don't want to say I'm interrupted all the time in a conversation. Sometimes it happens, but a common thing that I have happen in a lot of conversations that I've had is, like, and more so, like, in a group of people this happens, where I'll say something and start talking about it, and I'll keep going. Nobody really interrupts me, and I just keep talking, and nobody starts talking or anything, and I say a whole point, and it's like it was never even said. Nobody pays attention, completely ignored, and it's just like nothing at all. And like a lot of the time, I'll do that kind of thing too, and in the last while, I've noticed, like, and by last while, I mean, I don't know, probably last decade of my life, but in like the last decade of my life, I eventually learned to notice when that was happening, and usually, and there's no easy way out of it, because like you're not gonna just shut up because nobody interrupted you to shut up. So you feel the need to finish your point, but you know that there's no reason to because nobody's paying attention or caring about it anyway. And so there's many times where, like, halfway through something I'm talking about, it's just like, oh, I'm still going. I guess I'll finish this point now. All right, that's all I had to say. Cool, I'm done now. And nothing, and then the conversation goes somewhere else, and it was never even acknowledged. And that happens so much. And I've literally had that happen to me through online messaging. Like, I'm an ignorable person, and I get it. It doesn't really matter where I go. I am insignificant, and I get that. 'cause yeah, I am, but man, it it sucks sometimes to just have to accept that as being the case. As one slight bit of something good to be doing or trying to pursue, as most things feel like they're not really good at all. Um, you know, an example of, before I get to the slightly good thing, an example of not great thing is the fact that now I'm like obsessed with watching videos of like VRChat ASMR. That isn't me, obviously. Is this ASMR at this point? I don't know. I don't know what to call them. I put it in the title, but question mark? Because I don't know. I'm not talking quietly. I'm like, hey! You know. So. Sorry. But I've been watching like things where people have obviously more motion tracking than I do, and they have all their fingies, and you know, they're doing little things of like, oh, I have your face and stuff, and I don't know, just something about it. It's not healthy that I'm doing that and watching them so often, but I don't know. I guess it's just because I've experienced VR chat, and it's just like I know somewhere out there's somebody that would, you know, be willing to do that thing to me. And do like VR chat ASMR in outside of a video. And I guess when I watch that video, I just imagine it as if that is what's happening, but obviously not. So I think that connection just somehow makes me like more hopeful than real life. Like real life ASMR has existed for so long, and I've watched it for so long in my life that like VR chat ASMR just feels more real than that for some reason. There's not a lot of videos like that though, so that's kind of the one downside, but there are some out there. And obviously I guess I'm one of them, I don't know. I'm not quite the same, I'm just a guy that talks in the corner for like 30-40 minutes or more for some reason. But yeah, the good thing, unrelated, but the good thing is right now I'm trying to eat less. I'm trying to eat less food. I don't want to say that I eat like a huge amount of food or anything like that, but right now I eat 2 meals a day, and that's it. Today I had 2 sandwiches, like just an average, you know, slice of bread, 2 slices of bread, some meat, a little bit of mayo, 2 of those sandwiches, and then for dinner I had like a kind of weird ground beef, sweet potato, and some green beans, and those were my meals. And tomorrow it's probably gonna be, I think I have like a burrito mix, so I'll probably have that for dinner, and then I might have either some sandwiches again or like some toast, and that'll be my thing. And I'm hoping that maybe just something as simple as that. I don't really control specifically what I eat exactly, so if I can't do that, the best I can do is try to you know, eat less. I would think that eating less food would possibly, if it's at least not going to make me thinner, it will keep me from getting fatter. So, if anything, I'd hope for that. I'd love to get a bit thinner. I'm not, like, morbidly obese or anything. I'm just a little chub. Tiny chub. I would like to, you know, get rid of that, be a little bit more... a little more lean. Can't really say that word without thinking of brain rot memes, but yeah, I would like to. I mostly just have it in the gut region, for the most part. I mean, it's everywhere, obviously, but that's the visible part, unfortunately. not fully visible, it's just I'm not really, like, mindful about it in public. Maybe it would be visible from, like, a side angle. But yeah, so I've been trying to do that, so that's one good thing I'm doing. It's, like, the least I can do, but it's something. So, yeah. I don't know, I feel like I should be doing more all the time. I should be. I should be, but I don't know. It's been hard to really bring myself to want to do a lot in the last while, obviously. I feel like the most I do at this point is these videos. So, yeah. Anyway, I don't know how long I've been going. These videos usually are pretty long. Apologies for that, so I'll stop now. I've been thinking about a lot of things. There's a million other things that I probably didn't even talk about or mention, but I got through a lot of it, I think, at least for today. Thank you for joining me as always. Again, I hope you're doing well. If not, I'm not gonna give you the generic "you're not alone." You know, it won't be this way forever. It won't, you know, things will get better. It'll be okay. I don't know any of those. I don't know if it will be. You might be fully alone. If you don't have anybody in your life, if nobody reaches out to you, then yeah, you are. And I hate to say that. So what I will say is, if you are alone, I hope that soon you won't be. And in a good way. That you have somebody that really understands you and you really are happy to be with, whether it's a friend or somebody, you know, in a more intimate way, whatever it is. I don't know if things will be okay, but I really hope that they will be. I really hope that you will be able to find that, because nobody should have to not be okay. And if you're not okay and, you know, you you might need help in some way, I hope that maybe someday your brain will allow you to have enough confidence to, you know, bring yourself to get the help that you need. Because I know that a lot of the time you might recognize that you need to get help or do something about what you're feeling, but the way you're feeling is making it hard to do that, even if you know logically and deep down that that is what you should do. Because I feel like I can relate to, I feel like I understand, like I think I'm in the same boat where I'm like, I probably should, but I don't know, I don't. And I won't, and I don't know why. So just like how I hope that for me, even though it doesn't happen, I hope that maybe for you, it actually does. Or whatever you need to have happen, happens, and it puts you in the right direction for where you want to go. Or where you need to go. Anyway, that's all for me for now. Again, thank you for joining me here. Thank you if you watched all the way through this part of the video, or just skipped to the end here, whatever. I appreciate any interaction with this video. So yeah. I'm gonna, go do something. I don't know what, but, yeah. Thanks so much, guys. Take care. I wish you the best. My name is Ominous, apparently. Seems like I just learned that. I didn't, anyway. Farewell.